My name is Samuel Bolton. Welcome to my mental health documentary. I set out on a 10-week journey to make a mental health documentary. I spent a large chunk of my 10 weeks gathering data to present to you in the hopes that you might take this information on board. Mental health is a cross we all must bear. This is why I've made it my goal to spread awareness and attempt to break the stigma around seeking help. In doing so, I hope to encourage others to speak about their own experiences. With that being said, let's look at the statistics. To understand the problem at hand here, we first must break down what mental health is. By definition, mental health is a person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being. Mental health is much like our own physical health. Our physical bodies get tired, they get sick. They have good moments, they have bad moments. So does our mental health. We get tired, we get sick, we have good moments and we have bad times. Some days you could take on the world. Some days you feel the weight of the world on you. Mental health dictates a person's cognition, perception, and behavior. This means that mental health, while it may not be physical, can have very physical effects on a person and their lifestyle. It's estimated in the UK alone that 1 in 4 people will experience a mental health problem of some kind each year. That means that 1 out of the 4 people you encounter on a daily basis are most likely to suffer from a mental health condition. This could be anyone. It could even be you. 1 in 5 people have suicidal thoughts, and 1 in 15 people actually attempt suicide. 1 in 14 people attempt self-harm. Don't just take my word for it. Let's listen to some people who have personal first-hand experience with mental health. Take a seat, please.
Want to take that or?
Take that. Well, messed up roller coaster. Because sometimes I just feel like way up, like my self-esteem and my mental health is really good. But then I have some periods when it just goes down. But it goes up again. Just like seasons. It goes up and down.
It is pretty drastic. I have to deal with my anxiety situation and then other little bits, but mainly my stress and that type of stuff.
It can get messy on a daily basis. Sometimes as being a teenager, I really don't have words. Sometimes it's just like an oblivion and I really don't feel myself as well. So my mental health, it's indescribable all the time. I really don't know. I really don't even understand myself. My mind tells me to do something else and my heart tells me to do something else. And it's just, I'm very picky on stuff. And even my feelings, my mind doesn't really, get involved with it. It's always my heart. So I get tired with it. but I really have to cope it. So yeah.
When I try to talk to my friends or my family, like if I'm talking to them or hanging out with them, I get this paranoia that they don't really care about me or they don't like me, and then I have to try and figure myself out. Or then if I get stressed for no reason, if I do something wrong, and then paranoia ensues. Or if I try to do something right and then I mess it up, I freak out, or I just kind of give up at that point. I can get very stressed, I can have panic attacks, I can just have a lot of stuff happen to me like on any day at any point.
Like New York City is never stopping. It never sleeps. I'm always thinking about everything. I'm literally thinking about, I gotta do this work. The existence of myself, the existence itself, the life. The meaning of life. Literally everything. I'm always thinking, and that's a bless and a curse at the same time. Because I question everything, is because I overthink things, and then I start to have some, I don't know, anxiety attacks, but it's not that often.
Oh, I guess I've pinpointed it to stuff I dealt with in my childhood, and like just the way that my mind works, really. From the stuff I had to deal with when I was a child, from the stuff I have to deal with my family members, because almost everybody in my family has a mental illness, one or the other.
I really don't know. I think maybe it might be because I still don't know who I am right now. I need to spend time alone with myself and try to find what kind of things I like or don't really like. See, that's the thing. I keep forgetting because my mind is not right there right now. It has so many things right now. Calculating, it just gets so messy. That's why. That is one of the many reasons why I get so much frustrated every single day and confused. So yeah.
Okay, this is a tough one. So I feel like I do, because all of my previous experiences, I feel like this because of the past, because of my father and my mother arguing every time, and then asking myself what's going on, and the bullying I had during my childhood. I was not very liked by the people, but I was trying to be friends with everyone, so I was really confused. So I started to think and overthink things, and I don't know, when I turned into a teenager, and everything was even worse. If things were already messed up, it can be worse, because then hormonal changes, and do I like the girls, do this or that, and then I just, at some point in my life, I just realized I just don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I just want to be happy. I just want to be myself. So I stopped overthinking about what the other people say. I start to focus on myself, what I want to do, what I want to be, and I don't know. It's more like I don't care about anything but me. I can say, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, a death of my friend affected me so much. And when I heard about it, I got so much confused. I didn't really know what happened, and my mom really had to, put me myself together just to even attend this funeral. It was just so bad. But yeah, I got so much confused that even now I still suffer because of that.
Yeah, a lot of things. Bullying, the birth of my little brother, the constant argues with of my parents, the 2 times I moved from Spain to Ecuador and Ecuador to Spain. It was like a big change, and the biggest one that it's still affecting me today is moving from Spain to London. And yeah, that's like the main ones.
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot. When my dad left me when I was about 5, I started to get anxiety and then certain other issues. But then I got to see him again, and then it started up again because of how much he would shout. And it's been building up over the years, like my anxiety, and now it's become like this big thing when I become a teenager, and it's caused me a lot of issues with myself, especially with my talking, because I can stutter a lot, like especially if I'm put under pressure, like if I'm talking to somebody and then I for example, like if I'm talking to someone and then they don't hear me, then I get anxious because like because I'm worried that they're gonna have a go at me for like not talking loud enough or not doing it right. I don't know. It's just I have a lot of stress in that area. It's like with people. I have a lot of them, specifically to do with my creativity. That's helped me a lot along the way. I've been creative since I was little, and that has helped me deal with my mental health. From imagining characters who I've either made or certain characters that I am a big fan of, who I really enjoy watching or listening to or whatever. I imagine them helping me through that situation, and that usually helps me calm down, or if I do breathing techniques. But sometimes when I go through my panic attacks, or if it's like specific stress related stuff, I can not be able to calm down if I'm at too much of a higher level of stress. So if I'm at like a 10, for example, I cannot get myself down to like a 5 or a 4 because of how heavy it's gotten. And even if I try to do the breathing techniques, it doesn't work. It only really works if I'm at like a low level of anxiety. Sometimes I can't even realize or register that I'm getting anxiety at a certain point. It just turns on and I don't realize.
I don't have any coping mechanism, but I like to spend time alone with myself and just think about the previous events in my life. Maybe that helps me, but I just really don't know if it does or not right now. And it just I have so much going on in my life, even the simplest thing, it gets confusing all the time.
I sometimes do like breathing techniques, but I don't use them that much. I usually like try to stop thinking, and even if someone is yelling at me, just ignore them. Ignore everything what's happening. Just like disconnecting a plug. And that's like my defense mechanism. Or anger, because I used to have some anger issues. Yeah, I talk about my mental health with close friends, with no, not with my parents, but and counselors?
Yeah, I talk to my family and friends about my issues to try and, not only to try and help me, but also to warn them when I stutter or when I have these issues happen to me. Like if I have a panic attack in front of them, they know what to do, or they know that it's not because of them or any of that type of thing. But yeah, and I also go to counselling. I go to CAMS. It's going to be stopping soon, but I've been using that to deal with my issues with my anxiety and my other mental illnesses as well.
Okay, so in secondary for 2 years I had a counselor. We spoke like every single, like once a week. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I still felt like it did nothing to me, that I just spoke to her. I was scared as well, speaking to her. I didn't feel comfortable at all. So because of that, it didn't help. And then I had therapy when I was around 7, 8, because I was just so, sensitive and just so insecure about myself. But still, it didn't help me. So, yeah, right now I try to get help, but it just doesn't work for me. So it might not be the case for me then.
Not really. I don't know. Because I'm an overthinking person. I'm always thinking about the problem, but also the answer, the solution, how to resolve this. And it's like I knew beforehand everything they were about to say to me, and I didn't feel like they were helping. I don't know.
Yeah, for the most part. Sometimes I just talk about my feelings and it doesn't really do anything, but talking about it, getting all of your emotions off of your chest to someone that you rarely ever speak to, who will keep it to themselves and it won't be talked about to anyone else, or it won't be spread or anything like that, then yeah, it does help a lot to get my feelings out to a stranger so that I can get my emotions in order, I guess.
Just try to find yourself. It's important that you learn about yourself, what you like, what you don't like. And I know sometimes it can get really, really messy with your life, but try to keep yourself together and just do your best with whatever goes on in your life. Just don't be too much fast in whatever decisions you make. Just take your time and just don't get confused.
Focus on yourself. Basically, just try to be happy, doing the things you like to do, or who you want to be. It's not about what the world wants of you. It's about what do you want from you.
Well, I would definitely try and seek help, but if you don't have any help or like anyone around you who can help you with those issues, then I would suggest talking to some of your teachers, or like trying to figure out a strategy to find a way to help yourself with your issues if you have no one around you to help you out, or mainly to find a way or strategy to like calm yourself down on your own. So like maybe the way I do it, or if you're not as creative as I am, you can figure out another method. That you should not take everything people say to heart, and you should try your best. Yeah, just to try your best, because it doesn't really matter what other people think. If you mess things up or if you have anxiety, it's not your fault. You can't control it. And if people make fun of you for stuttering or doing any of that type of thing, just tell them to go fuck themselves.
think for me, it kind of changed when I first became a dad, really. I think got a place, moved in, me and my wife. The first few years was fine, everything was fine. I started noticing little differences where certain things were coming on, I wouldn't deal with them. I started off with bills and other little things like that, and just found myself not wanting to face certain things. I don't really understand why I was doing that at the time. That probably was a little sign that I didn't quite tweak, that I wasn't quite right. Then obviously my dad got ill, got diagnosed with cancer, and never really quite sunk in, to be honest with you. Like most of us, you get used to your mum and dad, you think they're going to be there forever, you know, even though we all know they're not gonna, but you don't ever contemplate them not being there, do you? Still never quite, I think we all done it, we didn't really know what we was doing, we just thought it'd be alright, you know, just carried on as normal as I could do. Mum and that were taking him to hospitals, like my sisters, and like all the family got together and was helping the best we could. We had our own families, which was difficult, and obviously I had a young baby, my sisters had young kids, so it was hard to do a bit of both. But we were still adamant in our head that he was going to be fine. It was a long battle with Dad. It was going back and forth for quite a while. Eventually, it seemed to get worse. My dad basically, declined quite a lot. He was pretty much bedbound for a while, and now we pretty much accepted that it wasn't going to go away. The cancer was ultimately going to win. I'll be honest with you, I found it hard because it was only then I kind of blocked out reality. Then I think that was the start of. Well, I think it started before that, but this was a massive start of it. My sort of like, not say decline, but I went down that bad path sort of thing, really. And then my dad, the day he passed away, had a massive effect, not just on me, like my sisters probably had the same problem, all of us. It's one of the worst things, like to this day, it obviously still hurts, it hurt all of us, but it felt like we was tipping my dad down the sink. Forgive how that sounds, but that was the truth. My mum was telling my dad to go, and he wouldn't. It seemed like he wanted permission from my mum to go. So I remember he laid down, and we saw something that was quite comforting. Was that he looked in the corner like someone had come and got him, and he pretty much laid down, and he went. But that was huge in terms of kind of impacting. I remember losing your dad, but I think that impact affected so many of us. So even to this day, I'm at peace with it now, but it still hurts, and I still get upset. So so that was with Dad, and I think didn't have time really to grieve. We was too proud to grieve a funeral. We all done a great job. I think then a few months after that it started to, I was alright, but I knew I weren't dealing with certain things. So, and this is just a little thing, we all do it, all men, we just get on with it. That's probably one of the biggest problems we got. We don't actually, we think we're alright, but in truth, it's hard for, well, we all suffer for it, but men have got this certain mentality where, you've got to keep your feelings locked in, sort of thing. So, I was very much like that. Even though, I'm brought up mainly by women, so that's why I'm a bit more, I suppose, sensitive in a way. I don't know. It done me a good thing, but I did lock up and go like most men do. I just thought everything was fine, just get on with it. And so I focused on trying to be a good dad. I wasn't good at the time because I'd been missing, and I'm just trying to stay out of the way and going to work, not going to work, and not pretending I wasn't feeling well all the time, and little things like that. And that was at the beginning. So then when we kind of like decided to get married and just create a bit of happiness, and it was such a special day. The build up was nice. It kind of kept us busy, and that was good. You know, there was a good sort of outlet. There's still little signs there. I still weren't with it. You know, always thought I had to do more. I need to make money and do this and do that, borrow this, do that. I couldn't. You know, stupid really, but it's what I thought. So then, she got married. Beautiful wedding. It was my best day of my life, or one of the best days of my life. You know, and that was never the issue. The relationship was never a problem. Problem was I just couldn't quite work out what was the matter with me, and I always thought I needed to do something else, needed to do here, trying to cut a corner here, trying to do this, if I borrow this and do that. No, this made it absolutely fucking worst, really. But after the wedding, my mum wasn't well a few weeks before. We thought she had caught that swine flu. They couldn't quite work out what was the matter with her. We'd gone from swine flu to TB, all sorts of stuff. And I think it was near the end of that week on the Friday, so I'd only been married a week. So on the Friday, we got called in, and I remember the young lad coming in the room, couldn't look us in the face, so I knew, right, this is going to be bad. And then he turned around and said that my mum had muscular cancer. It was everywhere, and there was nothing we could do. So I just ran out again, running away, my biggest problem. And I just lost my shit, really. You know, I couldn't believe that, you know, I had this great day, married, and in a week, now you take my mum away from me, you know. That was for me. And again, my sisters as well. Like, what do we do? And then she declined again. And then, you know, I'm quite happy I got to have a conversation with my mum about what she thought, and told me some things, and as always she was bloody right, which just pissed me off, but she was right about majority of it anyway. She was right about it. I think it was just a case of I need to start facing things and kind of grow up. When you lose your mum, your dad's hard, your mum's like having your wings clipped, as I keep saying it. It's like losing your best mate, and you feel like you're not longer a kid anymore, because when your mum's gone, then it is just literally you, and I think there's a bloke. We're all mummy's boys to a point, aren't we? So that was bloody hard to me. She died at home. You don't want her to go, but you try and do the best by her, and then eventually she shut her eyes and she went. And that hurt. Cool, fuck me, did that hurt. So, I mean, you know, it's your mum. At the end of the day, you lose your mum, it hurts. So that's when, after mum, I just went in robot mode. I really, really went off the rails. You know, just won't face things, won't pay bills, won't go to work, pretend I wasn't well, and they're all signs of you. Them little signs are signs that you're grieving. You're allowed to cry, you're allowed to let it out, but it's easier said than done. You know, it's just noticing the signs, and if anyone's suffering right now, you've got that, and you've got people around you, look for them things, you know. But you can talk about it to anyone. Especially the way it is now, it's a lot more easier than it was back in the day. It's still hard, of course it is, but talking to people is probably the best thing you can do. Got a different circle of people to talk to, which is, again, it's all come from opening up and being honest about the fact that it's out there, and mental health affects you in so many different ways. And obviously I know people, you know, they're suffering so many, like, grief is mine. Grief which turned into, you know, just cutting myself off and trying to not go work, gambling, borrowing, other. It's what you do. There's signs of things, you know. They're all the little signs you look for in people, but it went on like this for a little while. Obviously, I kind of carried on slowly doing silly little things, you know, quiet. But Kira came along. Well, actually, we had a miscarriage. Something I quite kicks me in the bollocks, that does. We lost twins not long after mum. I think that bit was a little tip off the edge for me, because I couldn't help Andrea. And you go into protection mode of like she needs me now. You know, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't help her. I couldn't do anything. All I could do was be there. But also, I didn't take time to realise that it's my babies too. You know. So that was something else that again festered up, and that is difficult. That kind of tipped me off as well. I went on off I went. You know, pretending everything was alright. And there were signs then, I was doing the same thing still, just little signs then. And then Kira came along. That changed me a little bit, because as we know, having a daughter changes the ball game. She did change my outlook a little bit, and for the better. I was still going off, I wasn't going to work, I was still saying I was ill and other shit. And that really don't help. So then we moved into my mother-in-law's house. And that was it then. That's when the decline kicked in. I was doing alright at the beginning, doing everything right, trying to get us rehoused, going down to council, made headway, and then eventually the airway kept taking longer and longer, and I completely lost my shit. To the point I got myself in trouble, got myself banned from the council, all this other shit because I was a prat. So, you know, it is what it is. But instead of going back and telling them the truth, that, you know, we ain't getting anything because I've been a dickhead, I pretended we was getting it and everything was fine. And then the lies got bigger and bigger because I was covering my arse, and then, you know, again, gambling, borrowing, doing all the stupid things, getting myself in unnecessary debt and causing myself unnecessary stress. I didn't do it once, I've done it twice. This time I upset literally everyone, you know. Everyone that gave me a second chance was like, do you know what, fuck off. And I deserved that as well, because I was a prick, you know. So, but then it was a prick that didn't understand what was going on. So it took me to do it a second time, and to actually get kicked out and having nowhere to go and going into a mental health sort of, they took me into a mental health centre. I stayed there 2 or 3 days. And in the midst of all this going on, I was taking tablets. I wouldn't say trying to kill myself, but I was not far off taking like 4 or 5 painkillers with a Red Bull, with a boost drink or something like that, and then just feeling constantly shit, constantly ill, you know, just not dealing with it. So I went in the home, was there 3 days, had a wake up call and thought like, no, this ain't me, I've got to fucking sort myself out. I can't afford to lose my wife, not my kids, I can't. I had to focus on me. You have to be very selfish, but you gotta. Because if you can't deal with you, then you ain't better deal with no one else. So, I took time out, I went and lived with my sisters for a little while. It helped me out a lot, you know, but it wasn't about that. I had to deal with me. You know, I'm grateful to my brother-in-laws and all that for putting up with me and putting up with all my shit. And I mean, I upset them, I done shit to them that is probably unforgivable, really. But we're family, and we give each other a second chance, or third, fourth chance with me, but they've done it. So then I got a flat with Andrea. Andrea gave me a second chance, well, my last chance. And then also the rest was history, because I had a little down. I was alright, I went up and down. I got in some stupid shit again and trying to cut corners, but not to the point of what I did before, but it wasn't good. And I lost a few mates and upset a few of my other mates again. But it was nothing that to the scale of what I did before. But that got sorted, you know. I knew then that was me talking to certain people that I didn't really need in my life, really, and being a prat. So it is what it is. So then I got a job in Camden, got a fresh start, came out of the area that I was in, went into the actual, got help, bereavement counsellor, basic counselling. Got diagnosed with anxiety and depression. Opened up more about obviously not dealing with the bereavement, and you know, I done, you know, from now I had good people around me, the right people. A new job, people that supported me in where I worked. Things with the family were right. And it was going all right. And then, you know, I had about nearly a year of counselling, and then obviously then in the midst of all that, COVID then come and hit. And did that hit. And then during the midst of COVID, obviously we lost my father-in-law, and we was all living there at the time. So that was another, being locked in, that was a fucking hard time. I'll be lying to you, for everyone it was, but it was just for our bad story of it, it was bloody hard watching someone pass away really quick. Watching my wife, mother-in-law, and obviously the kids. And obviously my brother-in-law and other family couldn't come round. That must have been fucking hard. We weren't allowed to come round and see no one, so that must have been fucking just as hard. But being in that house, and bear in mind the relationship I had with my mother-in-law at the time, it wasn't as it used to be. She had every right to be pissed off with me, and I still had trust issues with certain people, because mental health is very hard to be open about, and at that point, because people don't quite get it, and you feel like they don't get it. But I knew it until you talk about it. So that brought us closer together, and I think that obviously ultimately me and my mother-in-law kind of cleared the slate. I kind of, you know, got quite comfortable talking to her about it. She understood it a bit more. I like to think I helped her more and she's helped me. And then we helped each other with the family. We all got our heads together, and we had to survive that whole shitty year and a half, whatever. You know, so now I can honestly say that with the network that I've got, with the family that I've got, you know, I make a point of, always made a point of staying in touch with family, checking in with family. But I think we've all got a little bit closer lately, because much as shit goes on, we need each other and we love each other. And I ain't got friends, I've got family. All my friends are just like part of the family, and they always have been. Even made friends at work that have become like family, really. They've helped me out a lot. I've named them all a few times. I'm going to keep naming loads of people. We all know who you are, and you are part of why I'm here, why I'm comfortable talking about this stuff, and why I am, I don't know, I'm a better man. I'm happy, I'm loving. Might come across too soft. I'm not that soft, believe it or not. I just used to be a bit of a prat, and now I'm quite happy with the man that I am. Mental health is a hard subject to talk about, and it's very hard to listen to someone be quiet thing about it. But for me, if I can make someone happy, or someone just want to talk about it or open up, then it's job done, isn't it? You know, everything's going well. Family life's good. Life in general is good. You know, it's just a case of, for me, every day it's just, I can find a little positive. Because I am up and down, but find a little positive. You know, life's fragile. Everyone's going through a lot of shit that we don't know about. So just don't judge or be nasty. If you've got nothing good to say, don't say it. Like our mum's always said, don't worry about it. Don't say nothing. It's cool. And for me, it's just a case of, I ain't got issue with anyone. I get on with everyone. You don't like me, it's cool. It's absolutely cool. You know, I've been brought up to, you know, you're good to me, I'm good to you. That's the old school way of doing things. I always have been like that. All I can say is, have a lovely day. Take care of yourself. And it's just a saying, isn't it, at the minute? It's okay not to be okay. And men especially, we can all talk. You know, I know it's hard, but it's easier than it used to be. And there's someone always around. You know, if you need someone.
It's important to consider those around you just as much as you would consider yourself. If you know someone who is struggling, here's how you can help them.
I'm Desmond Chatner. I am the student counsellor at Newham Sixth Form College. So as a student counsellor at the Sixth Form College, my main job is to provide psychological support for the students here. I suppose being a youngster, living in East London, I found that not having anyone around to support me when I was struggling with my mental health was a main factor. That's what led me into wanting to study psychology, which is what I went off and did many years ago. I didn't start initially as a counsellor and a psychologist. I went off and worked in IT, but eventually found my way into counselling, which I started around about 6 years ago. I'd say it's been a positive one. I think one of the pleasures of working with people is seeing them grow. So you find people come to you in a vulnerable state. They're struggling with a variety of issues, home life, work life, partnerships. And then you can sit with them and spend some time working with them, helping them unpack and review parts of their lives that they feel like a ball of knots. And undoing those knots and helping them through some of those difficulties is really, really satisfying and rewarding, because by helping people find meaning in their lives, they then feel a lot more equipped to go on and do things for themselves and, find resilience, an ability to sort of stand on their own 2 feet, feel stronger and, able to do things that are important for them. So if someone's struggling, and I would say always be prepared to open up. It's really easy to curl up in a ball and hide away and think that nobody knows what's going on. The world does pass you by, but it's really important to reach out and get some help if you need some help. There are people that are out here that want to help you, that want to support you and help you work through some of the problems that you've got. It's important to feel the courage to make that first step. It's difficult, it feels risky, it feels scary, it feels like something that nobody else has done but you. But there are many, many people in your position that need support, psychological support, and they sometimes don't reach out and look for that support. I think it's very important to feel that you can and that you will be heard and you will be received and understood. So don't be scared, reach out if you need help. I think the most important thing that any of us can do when we're around somebody else who's struggling with their mental health is listen. It feels a little uncomfortable when somebody's struggling because you think, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to behave. But the most important thing for a person who's struggling with mental health is to know that there is someone in front of them that just wants to listen to their story. So if you know someone who is struggling with their mental health, the best and most valuable thing you can offer them is your time. Just be there, just listen. You don't have to fix them. You don't have to come up with, a magic wand and pixie dust. It's just important just to be there and to listen to their story and to receive them and just to be there for them.
You are not alone in feeling the way you do. Everybody has experiences. Everybody has their own way of dealing with these experiences. It's important that no matter what you feel, what you think, there are people out there for you. Speak out, seek help.